Welcome to Strange Gossip. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Taylor, and this is going to be like your friend's take on the weird.
Because we're tired of real life problems and want to talk about spooky shit.
Welcome
Period.
to episode 11. Period. End of story.
Period.
Done.
Episode 11.
Isn't that crazy? Well, we're getting into conspiracies today.
Excited.
It should be a good time. Good old time with the conspiracy theories.
Always, always. Do you have any current topics before we jump in? Because I'm really excited to hear your conspiracy today. So I'm like, all right, let's do current topics.
I know, just jump into it. Well, I don't have a ton. There was one about the jellyfish UFO that got caught recently.
Oh, girl, I have that on my list. Yes.
Okay. I don't here's the thing. I don't even think it's worth showing it because I think it's so fake.
Oh my goodness. It is funny. Okay, so I didn't see it. It didn't come across my feed. And then Chris, Serafina's husband, both friends of the pod. Hello, we love you. Chris had sent me a text and was like, have you seen this? And I'm so thrilled that we have this podcast and people, and that people know to text us weird stuff. It's incredible. So thank you to everyone that sends us stuff that comes up.
Agreed.
Major love, major shout out. And so he sent the video, and I will play it because it's now we can't not.
Now people need to know.
Yes. And just to kind of explain what's going on in the video, it shows a strange object, sort of similar to a jellyfish, flying over the U.S. Joint Operations Base in Iraq. And the video is actually from October 2018, but it was just declassified. So now they're showcasing it. Serafina said it looked like a Pokemon, and I was like, yes.
Cute.
That is what it is. It looks like the shadow of a Pokemon.
What is a Pokemon that looks like a jellyfish? There is one, right?
Tentacruel is what comes to my brain.
Tentacruel. I love how that's in your head.
Oh, I was so into Pokemon. We were in the same. We definitely played Pokemon together.
We definitely did. Do I remember their names outside of the top 4? No.
Okay, how many Pokemon can you name right now? Go.
Ninetales. What is that? Yes. Great. Why doesn't it do it for me?
Sorry. Just for
you
context,
have it on your phone.
If you're just listening, for some reason my Zoom just had a reaction.
That was just thumbs up. Great job. Is it not doing it anymore? It just really liked Pokemon. It's name them all. Okay.
Oh my
God,
it's hilarious. Okay, go Taylor.
Okay.
Pokemon.
Charizard, Pikachu, Ninetales, Ponyta, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Diglett.
Okay, that's a lot. You're pretty proud of you.
Eevee.
What?
Mew?
Yes, that was my fave.
Okay. And then Jigglypuff. I feel like I'm going to tap out at 10.
That's pretty good. I'm pretty proud of you. I definitely remember playing Pokemon with you at the Sacred Hearts Playground because
100%.
all you wanted to do was do the horse ones. Ninetales and Ponyta were yours.
I was Ponyta.
I remember specifically no one else was allowed to have those.
Yep, 100%.
Mew was my favorite. I was convinced that Mew and Togepi or...
I don't even remember what Togepi looks like.
It's a little egg dude. It's actually funny. I didn't know what Squishmallow was. And then I saw a TikTok about they make Squishmallow beds for dogs. Oh, and I bought one. Hello, it's actually right here.
Hi.
It's a little pineapple that's named Maui. Oh, there's also potato.
Cute.
Hey, potato.
Hi, potato.
And then I was like, what's a Squishmallow? And then apparently those are very big. And then I was at the mall with a friend and we went into the store that sold Togepi Squishmallows and I bought one.
Oh, cute.
So I'll have to take a photo and put it, insert here. But it's so cute. It's this little egg guy that Misty would carry around if you ever watched the TV show.
Yes. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just cute. Just a cutie.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, but back to the alien that looks like a Pokemon. So... when so obviously your initial reaction was that it's probably fake. I also got that vibe. I got weird smudge immediately, and the fact that it didn't really move, I was like,
well, their whole thing was that,
but it doesn't move.
The vibe was that it was changing temperatures. The camera they caught it on is a thermal, and it was white, so it wasn't super hot, and then it would get black, and it would get super hot. So there was why is it changing temperatures? Honestly, it just doesn't look right to me.
It doesn't look right.
Something about it.
Yeah, I don't know. And so just a little bit more context, too, of the video. UFO enthusiast Jeremy Corbell released the footage on his socials on Tuesday, explaining that the raw footage filmed by the military shows the UAP moving through a sensitive military installation and eventually traversed over a body of water where it actuated a controlled descent, submerging into the water.
The sky is alive.
After an observational period of about 17 minutes, the UAP reemerged from the body of water and shot off at an extreme rate of speed beyond the optical scope of the observation platform. So I immediately also was like, oh my God, Taylor just covered this on the podcast.
Right? It's a sky jellyfish.
It's a sky lobster, sky jellyfish. They're all real. That's why I actually responded to Chris and Serafina. I was like, Taylor just covered this. I don't think it's even come out yet, but it's so funny. I was like, do we record this and put that on that before that goes out? But no, we'll keep it in this.
We'll keep it as a follow-up. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would lead you to think like, oh, maybe the theory has like some little bits of nuance and truth to it, but like part of me just is completely ignoring it.
You know, my those brain conspiracy. Is just like, I know, same. I can't. Yeah. I saw it and I was like, ugh, no, this is not happening. I think if they had the footage of it going into the water and coming out,
that would be interesting.
I want to see the whole clip. Like, it really just kind of looks like something's on the lens and they're just moving the camera. Like, that's all I'm getting. But if I actually saw like the camera stop and they watch it go into the water, like that's the meat. But the fact that we aren't seeing that, I'm like, come on, guys, what we doing? Mode. Show me the good stuff. I want, you're telling me all this great stuff, but I'm not seeing it. So I'm less likely to love it.
Got to see it to believe it.
Okay. I actually got a couple more. Oh wait, do you have any other?
You?
Yeah.
No, I have like nothing. That's okay.
So an article, just came out about the faked aliens, the Is It Cake aliens that we covered.
Okay.
Like in one of the first couple episodes.
So are they cake?
And they are not cake.
Damn.
But officials have concluded that they are not real aliens. And that study, I mean, we kind of knew that. We'd already heard that it was probably made of animal bones and like concrete material. And basically they have officially announced that they are not aliens. So that
are they like paper mache? Because like that's exactly what they looked like.
They are. It's what. Remember how there was like someone that came out and said that it was faked with like animal bones, I think concrete, some kind of glue substance.
So that's okay.
It's all that same stuff. Basically, but the article had just come out that there's an official report concluding that they are fake. So that just happened. And then I have another current topic. Man, these current topics are going to be like sub-episodes, I swear.
Yeah.
But because we're talking about conspiracy theories, a news article came out a couple days ago about the conspiracy theorists of one of the biggest conspiracy theories ever, that we didn't land on the moon.
I love that one.
Basically, NASA had a plan to send humans to the lunar South Pole in 2024, but in 2021 said they need to push back to 2025. Well, unfortunately, that has been pushed again to September 2026, adding fuel to the conspiracy theorist fire that the reason they're having such a hard time is because this is actually their first time they've ever tried to go to the moon.
Oh, the tea.
We'll have to like cover that. I mean, that's such a big hitter, so we're definitely going to cover it at some 100%. Point. NASA had said that like they just want to make sure they have more time to work on the project, make sure there's the safety involved. And so I can only imagine how hard it is to work on a project that big, and like committing to a time is a little bit insane to me.
Like the budgets that go into that stuff though, like you can't just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But
it's true.
It is like I mean, my job is not, I wouldn't say my job is landing people on the moon. So, but like, I can't imagine the stress of that.
I cannot. And like imagining, like even when you are editing like a film project, like even if you're editing a movie, they'll say like summer of this time because they also know
you don't want to put a deadline on it.
Yeah, you can't, because like if you have to change the date, like I remember working on a TV show where we had to change the premiere date for some reason, and then we had to take down all of the social media assets and recreate all of them with the new date. And that's just a tiny piece of the puzzle. So like you don't want to commit too hard. And that's also not landing on the moon. And like I'm someone that like if you were like Catherine, make a cell phone from scratch.
Yeah.
No. What?
Yeah, but we're also not NASA scientists.
True. But like,
you know what I mean?
Insane.
Like,
it's insanity.
Well, let it slide this time, guys. But if you push it back again,
we're watching.
I'm going to go ahead and wager that you did not land on the moon.
I love it. But that's my last current event topic that I wanted to bring because I was like giggling at the conspiracy theorists. I was like, oh, this is so perfect. We're literally about to cover conspiracy theories. Okay. Bring it up.
Mine's pretty recent too. So if we can get into it, because it was also like something that I saw that was like conspiracy theorists are just going insane on actually Insta this time, not TikTok, which is a little interesting, but I guess we're just going to jump into it. So have you seen the reels about the 15 billionaires that are now starting to build bunkers?
Okay, so I did not know there was 15 bunkers being made, and that's terrifying. I
know. I was going to say, well, you do know because I sent you the reel.
oh, duh. It was 15. Well, I got distracted I got distracted because a friend of mine, like probably 6 months ago, 8 months ago, maybe like almost to a year ago, had mentioned
the bunkers.
Knows someone that's working on one of the bunkers in Hawaii and was like, did you know this is happening? This is super sus. And I was like, whoa, what? And this was before it was in the news, before anything. Yeah. So
you had the tea before it even got hot.
I got the conspiracy theorist tea. Hello. I got the plug. So I'm so excited. I did not realize that there was 15 though. I love that you sent me that and I just immediately was like, nope.
Well, you're like, we're covering it in the pod. I'm like, yes, absolutely. But for those that don't know or haven't seen it, because obviously you're not going to say the same reels, but basically it was a reel that had like Eminem's face with a woman's voice asking, are you having fun, Eminem? Are you having fun? It was kind of annoying.
Are you having fun? Of course. And Eminem, are you having fun?
And he was just like, mad dogging it, not having fun. But the words on the screen were, don't you think it's weird how 15 billionaires built bunkers in the last week? And like, that caught my attention. I'm not going to lie. Like, why would they start building things in the last week? So I saw the reel and I figured we'd do a deep dive for the episode. But first, like any good investigation, you had to start in the comments. So there's really like 4 main camps in there.
Okay.
So there's the religious people quoting, Bible verses. And then they'll also, we'll get to that in a minute. But there's also the people that are like, preparing for doomsday. There's those that think these are the same people that are coming out on Epstein's list, which by the time we're filming this has not been released yet. And then there's also some people that just think that shit should get off Instagram and go back to TikTok, which fair point. You know what I mean? So those are the 4 camps in the comments. My take on it before we kind of like dive into the rabbit hole that I went down is it sounds like this is like people with like way too much money that they don't even know what to do with it. And so a bunker seems like something like as like a bragging right. Like they have FOMO, like they want to have a bunker because everybody else has a bunker. And also too, like I thought about it, I'm like, well, you may as well have one and not need one than need one and not have one. You know what I mean? Like if you have that much money, why not have a bunker? Way.
Like if someone was like, if I had all the money in the world and I've already done all the things I want to do, like you're just going to build a bunker. Like, why not? Like, okay, sure. Let's put that on the list. Like, and to your point, it's like, well, you don't know what kind of emergency. It could be a really fun way to like spend COVID again. Like you could just make stupid reasons for.
You can have a sleepover in it. Like there's just so many things you could do. Come tour my bunker, know? Like if you were just cribs. Filthy rich, why not? Yeah, they should do an MTV Cribs. Welcome to my bunker.
Welcome to my bunker.
Now get out. Slam the back door.
It's like a garden that like replenishes itself. It's like NASA freeze-dried food. Like that's. Dude, oh God, where are we?
Go hard. Okay, well I guess like my thing is like I'm not much of a doomsday prepper. So, there's that part of it. I just like going to get groceries for the week is already daunting. And then to add like 5 years of groceries onto that, I just don't even like count me out. I'm just going to go like feral when the time comes. Like, I don't know.
That's such a good point. I have like a emergency bag like that's ready. Like
I'm impressed by that. Oh, and you've told me about it. And I'm like, dude, what?
It's like a waterproof bag that like you fold out over and can like float in a river. And then I have
It's like, yeah, it loves Pokemon, and it just, for those of you listening, the like button just came back up again. It's like Pokemon and doomsday prepping, solid yes.
Pretty much sums me up, I guess.
Yeah.
But I can't do it when I try and do
I know,
it.
what is that?
I know
it's catching on to something.
I think there's other ones.
There's definitely, like, there was an update for it, but I think you had to, like, change your Zoom for it. Who knows?
Nope.
Okay.
But yeah, so I have that bag, and then I have this little straw that, like, if you put it in gross water, it, like, purifies it.
Okay.
I'm here's the thing. Like, I also have, like, instant packets for coffee, like, in case you need, like, coffee in a pinch.
That is so...
Trade it in the apocalypse.
Dude, I don't even have cash. Like, don't even have cash.
I think it's going to fall
hands.
apart, though. We don't need cash. Like,
girl, you just wait until we get into these conspiracy theories about why you might need cash.
Really? I'm trading instant coffee, okay, in the apocalypse.
That's a good point. You know what? That is just as good as any type of, like, currency.
I have to shout out, there's a podcast called Ghosts in the Burbs, and I'm obsessed with it, and she brought that up in a podcast episode, and I was like, say less, instant coffee,
doing it.
Put it in my Amazon cart immediately. But that's like,
my God.
but that's my extent of it. Like, I'm not prepping, like, I don't think you can prep in a, like, you have to live, like, in the wilderness already, like, I feel like.
If you had, like, billions of dollars, because your coffee would turn into a bunker, like, that would be the same...
I would make, like, Starbucks in my bunker.
Exactly. Like, you would literally staff a Starbucks in there. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and that would
so
be normal.
true.
That would be like you placing the Amazon order.
That's
I mean, maybe
so
that's an
true.
exaggeration, but it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, that's my instant coffee is their crazy bunker. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like, I can't afford a multi-billion-dollar
I'll
bunker.
tell you how much the bunker is in a minute, because it's literally insane.
I can't wait.
I guess let's dive into what I was able to dig up. So here's the lowdown. Mark Zuckerberg kicked things off with this grand plan to build a bunker on his Kauai property as part of his whopping $270 million project. So forget your typical shelter. We're talking about a massive 57,000 square foot underground space, which it has its own fucking power, food supplies, and a door that can handle serious explosions.
Whoa.
Business Insider spilled the beans on the plans, with over a dozen buildings in the works, complete with 30 bedrooms, 30 bathrooms, elevators, offices, meeting rooms, and a spacious kitchen. Like, dude's still working, apparently, with the meeting room. Facebook needs to go on. Like, cannot go down.
Well, because the apocalypse happens, whoever survives is gonna be in the
news
metaverse.
Is gonna be, yeah, I guess we're going to the metaverse, I guess. Yikes.
He's planning. That's absurd. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's more. So PayPal big shot Peter Thiel, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, is apparently trying to snag a permit for his own bunker-style pad in New Zealand. And he's planning to share it with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, aka the guy that invented ChatGPT. So interesting. And then even Elon Musk, the brains behind, like, Tesla, SpaceX, you guys know Elon, he's reportedly cooking up his version of a doomsday bunker as well, you know, just in case Mars doesn't pan out as a backup living space for him.
I forgot about Mars with him. Okay.
Dude, honestly, that's like tier 1 bunker. Get the fuck off the planet.
Yeah, seriously. Game plan to actually leave.
Game plan?
But, like,
bye.
But, like, not to be so dark, but, like, if you have to end up in a bunker, or if you have to end up on Mars, that's gonna suck. You're gonna miss what we have currently. Like, that's gonna be so shitty.
Well, it's not a good, I mean, yeah, if you're in a bunker, you're on a different planet because shit went down. Things are not going well.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, it's not like an ideal, like, you're not gonna have, money's not gonna matter. I mean, I guess the bunkers are great. Oh yeah, please.
Well, some people are saying, kind of like talking shit about it. Like, well, why wouldn't you just, you know, use that money to kind of like prevent the things that could end the world?
What the fuck? That's too easy.
That makes too much sense. So no.
I
but there's also,
cry.
I know, I'm like, But there's also a little bit of a rumor, actually, that President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are also cooking up a doomsday bunker on their Delaware property. There's even a sneaky screenshot of the construction permit making rounds as proof.
You're joking. Is that real?
Yeah, apparently.
Because doesn't the president have his own bunker, or he means like after he's in office?
After he's in office. We'll get into this later, but there is a bunker in the White House. But he's making his own bunker.
That is so scary sounding. Like, I think you're right. I think it's just people, why not have a bunker? But that's scary. When the president's doing it, it's
Here's the thing. Here, let's just set the record straight. Like, the gossip about the 15 billionaires recently going bunker crazy, that's just gossip. So it hasn't like stopped the online crowd from like speculating about doomsday scenarios and whether like biological warfare, like climate change or nukes or aliens, or maybe even like a couple more pandemics are coming. And some even tossed around like World War III just a bit, but there's not 15 million that started within the same week. I think that was like an exaggeration. Like, yes, it started with like Mark coming up with his, and then you kind of go down the rabbit hole of like how many people actually have bunkers. But bunkers are not new. There were a lot of them actually built during like the Cold War.
It's true,
and so like Dick Cheney, the cabinet, the first lady, and then other officials were evacuated to the PEOC bunker beneath the White House during 9/11, for instance. So people have used bunkers. And then there's even this one in Texas where you can buy a level or like a story of a 15-story underground bunker for about like $2.53 million. But
like, do you live nearby that you can get there?
That's the thing that I was thinking about. Like, okay, you have it in Hawaii, but like you have to fly to Hawaii. Are the planes
working?
How are you going to get there? Like, you got to be lucky that you're there. Like, also, Elon, how the hell are you going to get to Mars? That seems like a trip. That seems like if they can't even get to the moon right now, how are you going to get to Mars in like 0.5 seconds?
Oh my God, most beautiful tie-in ever, right? No, they're not.
Like, for real.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is so illogical. I mean, that actually makes me feel better. That definitely makes it seem like this is just a for funsies thing to have.
It is a for funsie thing. That's what I think. But I mean, the bunkers aren't the weird part. I think what's weird is that it's a lot of the tech giants that are doing it. So what does that say? Like, does that mean AI is about to take over? Do they know something that we don't about the technology side of things? And all these bunker locations, too, they seem to be in the tropics.
Yeah, New Zealand and Hawaii, very similar.
Yeah, like very like equator type areas. So I don't know about all that, but I figured I would look into some of like the doomsday conspiracies. And then let's not forget the Bible verses.
That's so scary. Okay, go.
Yeah. Okay. So Bible verses first. Revelation 6:15 through 17 reads, and I'm going to butcher this because, and the kings of the earth and the great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men and every broad man and every free man hid themselves in the dens in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountain and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that seeth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come, and who shall be able to stand? I butchered that, like I said. And then there's Isaiah 2:19, and it says, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of the Lord and the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. To be honest, I know we talked about this before. I'm not like a very religious person, so these didn't really hit for me, but there is some people thinking like this is going to be like the second coming of Christ. But like, sir, he was supposed to show up like many, many years. Every year there's supposed to be a coming of Christ. And I don't know, he's like very delayed. He's like NASA delayed. So I don't know.
Because I obviously was raised pretty religious.
You were pretty religious.
And like, I was also, when we went to Catholic school,
Yeah, that's true.
But like our Catholic school and like Catholic sermons versus the Episcopal sermons. I'm so sorry, that's Potato. Hey, Potato.
Hi, Potato. She's like, religion?
She's like, I'm going to get up from my nap and go over there. But being Episcopalian, all of those were so much more like, okay, here's what this is what this says, but like, what do you think that could mean? Like, how does that affect your life? Yeah, like it's a little bit less like, this is exactly what's going to happen.
But if we don't believe in that, it leaves us with, the end of the world, civil unrest, Epstein's list. And then, Epstein's
when you said that,
yeah.
I was like,
here's the thing.
Never thought about that. That's a fun one.
That'll be an easy fact check, though. Either they're on the list when it comes out or they aren't. So
do you think we're actually going to get a real list?
They better.
I hope so.
I hope so. I think anyone on that list should be scared and honestly probably should be looking into a bunker.
It makes sense. When you said that, I was like, whoa, didn't think about that, but
that would be a good reason for a bunker.
Like they're all going into hiding.
I would prefer that they didn't. Like, let's.
I mean, yeah, we want to see them put to justice. Hello.
Public hanging. But anyway, I might be a little bit extreme on that.
I love it.
But I guess we'll see. I'm not sure when that's supposed to come out, but it hasn't come out now. So I guess that'll be something we can check on later. Yeah. It'll be a current topic. Ooh. But speaking of lists, I guess we can talk about some of the current doomsday conspiracies floating around right now.
Let's get into it.
The biggest ones are civil war, nuclear winter, and then solar storms are definitely popping up. So honestly, these can all be kind of like episodes on their own. So I'll just give you the quick 1-2 on them. Civil war, obviously pretty straightforward, and honestly doesn't seem that far-fetched right now. I mean, we are headed into an election year, so that's something. I don't think we're on the brink of it, but I don't think it's so far out of the touch of reality that it would never happen. Nuclear winter. So I might be bringing on some nuclear winter right now, but so it's sadly also not that far-fetched for that to happen. So I looked into it, and there's actually 12,500 nuclear warheads around the world right now, with almost 90% of those belonging to 2 countries, the US and Russia. So big yikes.
That like makes sense to me because I think humans are like kind of stupid.
They are stupid.
Like I don't like remember when there was like a missile threat alert that happened in Hawaii.
Went to Hawaii.
And it was a test, but they didn't say it was a test.
It's straight up on the thing said this is not a test, seek shelter.
It's also its own conspiracy. People actually think something did happen and it wasn't a test because that's a big mistake. People were throwing their kids in storm drains. Like that was terrifying. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh Jesus!
That's like the poor person's bunker is the storm drain.
100%. Well, Hawaii, no one has a basement. Like there's.
Yeah,
did you see that tornado warning? I think I texted it.
Yes.
And it was like seek shelter, go into your basement immediately, and it's like
who has a basement?
You're the wrong place to give that piece of advice. I'm so confused. Anyway, all to say,
oh my God,
sketchy.
Yeah. Well, do you know what nuclear winter is? Because I have like the full.
Please
breakdown.
get into it because I feel like I can like it's just when too much happens, right? And it brings on like.
Yeah, close. You're getting there. So it's a consequence of nuclear war, right? So the dust and the smoke produced would block out a large fraction of the sunlight and the sun's heat from the Earth's surface. So quickly become dark and cold. Temperatures would drop to something in the region of 10 to 20 degrees Celsius. Many places would feel like they're in Arctic winter. It would take months for the sunlight to get back to near normal. The drop in light and temperature would quickly kill crops and other plants and animal life, while humans already suffering from the direct effects of war would be vulnerable to malnutrition and disease on a massive scale. Basically, like the particles get up into our stratosphere and there's nothing to really clear them out. So they just sit in there and just blanket the world.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah. So this actually brings me to a comment that was brought up about what Trump said during climate change discussions in California. So this was back in 2020 with some fire officials. California Natural Resource Agency Secretary Wade Crawford tells Trump that forest management isn't the only thing that needs to be done to prevent wildfires. When he talked about the record heat across the state this summer, Trump said, "It'll start getting cooler, just wait." Actually, he said, this is the true quote. I was just one word off. "It will start getting cooler. You just watch." The secretary, that was a terrible Trump accent.
Actually, it was kind of good. I was surprised.
Okay, thanks. The secretary countered with, "I wish science agreed with you," to which Trump responds, well, I don't think science actually knows. So basically, this led people to believe that he's onto something that other elites are clued in on. And then, like, he's just kind of like, oh, like, you don't actually, science doesn't know because it's like a bigger plan.
And priority is vegetation management. But I think we want to work with you to really recognize the changing climate and what it means to our forests and actually work together with that science. That science is going to be key because if we if we ignore that science and sort of put our head in the sand and think it's all about vegetation management, we're not going to succeed together protecting Californians.
Okay. It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
The way you said it was kind of weird, but to be devil's advocate, it could just be Trump doing Trump things.
That's what I'm getting. I'm getting some...
But I did get I watched it. I'll have you watch it. It's definitely a bit suspicious.
Overly confident, but that's also giving boomer energy. Sorry.
No, not even overly confident. I don't think science knows, actually. You know,
he does know too much. Okay.
So anyway, I mean,
scary.
Is he talking about nuclear winter? I don't really know. There are some theories about us moving into an ice age, but there isn't a ton of evidence for this. So it's highly scientific. I'm going to kind of spare us the 30-minute explanation for that conspiracy theory, but it is out there that people think we might be moving into a new ice age. So that's something. But let's get into the very real threat of solar storms that could wipe out the internet for weeks.
All of these are so bad.
Yeah, none of them are great. And it's kind of making me feel like I'm kind of I fucked up for not being a billionaire and getting a bunker. But anyways.
I know. Now I get it. I get why they all want bunkers. You know what I mean? You start thinking too hard about it. There's a couple houses in Burbank that were built in the 50s, and some of them have bunkers. There are that they built into it. They're smaller, but so I see it. I do.
They should be sold for much more or something. They can be
I think they're all they've all run its course, because I think they used to have a life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Well, a potential internet apocalypse is on the horizon, warns Professor Peter Becker, a leading researcher at George Mason University. In a recent interview with Fox Weather, Professor Becker highlighted a 10% chance that within the next decade, an impactful solar superstorm could disrupt the internet's stability. The crux of the concern lies within the coronal mass ejection, CME, a substantial release of plasma and magnetic fields from the sun's cornea. This event possesses a threat to critical infrastructures such as power grids, satellites, navigation, and GPS systems, radio transmitters, and communication equipment. This could wipe out the internet for weeks. The anticipation of escalating intensity in solar storms has added to the complexity of the issue. As the sun approaches its most active phase of its 11-year cycle in January to October of 2024, the likelihood of solar superstorm intensifies. So, acknowledging the inherent challenge in the predicted solar storms, Professor Becker is collaborating with the Naval Research Laboratory to develop an advanced early warning system. This collaborative effort aims to enhance preparedness and response capabilities in the face of potential disruptions stemming from solar storm activity. That, I think, is kind of that is the most realistic. Well, war is pretty realistic. But that one, if you think about our internet and all of our electronics getting wiped out, we would be...
Think about
their
planes.
Credit cards.
Planes mid-air. That's so... Well, nope.
Well, I think they have backups. You'd be surprised. Boeing, I don't know. Actually, that's a current topic.
That whole window just came out of the Alaska blade.
Yeah, so I don't know if they've got backups, you know?
You hope they do, and you just have to make peace in your little heart that they do, because you'll spend so much time and sleepless nights. Remember when we used to fall asleep thinking about woolly mammoths? Remember that?
That was a good time.
Now
even the raining meat. I'll take the raining meat. You know what I mean?
So true. Over failed airplanes during a solar flare up.
Seriously. Ooh. But that's a true okay, so you have no news going to your phone, your credit cards don't work, you're back to I don't know, trading coffee, like you said. What do you do?
I'm so ready. Ready.
People, I don't know. Coffee's like a drug. People are going to be lined up outside of your house.
For sure. And I got the Instapacket, so it's boop, boop. I just need a little hot
Starting
water.
At Starbucks, you know?
All I need, I have my little straw that filters out water. Start a fire.
I do have one of those cups, because I did go to, for our honeymoon, we went to Mexico, and I was girl, with the stomach problems, I'm absolutely not. Am I going to vom?
Yeah.
So I brought one of those, but it was fine.
Oh, I've never used it. It's just in a bag. That's really,
See, that's the other thing. Stupid. You bag it all up and then it's like, does it actually work? I don't know.
Well, like I also was like with like wildfires in California, they always tell you to have a go bag. So I was like, I'll just have a go bag. But I don't know. It does feel a little like I have water in there. It's just very like it'll get us a day or like I'll have coffee forever, but there's
I would consider you very prepped.
Oh, thank
compared
you.
to the billionaires, not very much. But compared to like normal people, I think you got it.
There's an average and a median here, and I feel pretty confident about my median.
That's great. Okay, well, that's pretty much everything I have. I mean, I think, honestly, like I said, I think it's a case of billionaires having too much money that they don't know what to do with. So might as well have a bunker just in case. I think it just makes sense.
I mean, if you and I had all this money and you were like, hey, do you want to like co-build a bunker together? I'd be like, fuck yeah, we're going to co-build a bunker together.
We would film our episodes out of the bunker.
Yes. We'd have a little podcast room.
Dude, that would be the fucking episode. Room. We put the episode out. We can give everybody the actual news. Like, hey, conspiracy theory is true. We literally just had.
We become the hosts of
we're the news.
Yeah, we're the news now.
Strange gossip news. Tune in from the bunker.
Strange gossip, less strange, more factual now.
I mean, still kind of strange, but it's very real.
Less gossip. That's so fun. One of my favorite like phone games is the bunker Fallout game on your phone. I'm forgetting what it's called.
Heard of it.
Oh, it's so fun. I feel like you would really like it because you and I like very similar like world building games.
Yeah.
And you start off, it's a bunker. You're avoiding nuclear apocalypse by building a bunker, and you start with like people. It's based upon Fallout, the video game, but this is just like another way. It's like a phone game. But you like build out the bunker with different resources, and you have to like keep enough electricity going, and the water filtration system has to work. And then you send people out into the wilderness to like find supplies, but then they get radiation poisoning. So you got to create a med bay, but it's all like, you're not playing
it's like a fun
one. Yeah. You're like building out the bunker, and you're just like assigning people places. So it's a little bit, it's a really great way to kill time.
I think the real thing that people like need to think about is the plumbing situation. Like 5 years in a bunker with zero plumbing, disgusting. That should be top of the list.
Yeah, what does that look like? I wish they would let us know what their bunker like.
Bunker tours.
I wish.
Like I'm saying, MTV Cribs got, like you said, they've got to get in there, give us some good ideas for when we just.
They're not going to show their bunker in case something happens, right? Like they're going to want it a secret, but they have people working on the bunker, so it's going to get around. Like you can't build a bunker in Hawaii and not have all that shit get.
I think the location,
Coconut wireless.
Location is like, obviously want to keep that under wraps, but also like people know where Zuckerberg's little plot of land is on Kauai.
Everybody knows where that is.
So I don't know. Dude, when I went down the conspiracy theories for this, somebody like went into it hard on YouTube, and it was so funny because they were like, Oprah owns land in Maui, and like she is living more inland. So she clearly thinks that like the climate crisis is real because then the water would take over her house. I was like, all right. Tell me you've never been to Hawaii without telling me, like, are you okay? And then there were like Jeff Bezos and then Larry, like, oh my God, it got crazy. I was like, but they all are kind of coming to Hawaii, which I don't blame them. I would. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
It's because this is the real answer about people moving to Hawaii is that there's really so little regulations about owning real estate there, and it's so beautiful.
For now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the lure is like you don't have to cheat. Your currency is the same. It's still the United States.
Maui also has an anti-paparazzi thing too. So like if you're famous, I think Oahu you could still be paparazzi, but Maui, that was a huge reason why a lot of famous people were moving to Maui because there was like and vacation in Maui because there's just no paparazzi there.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Besides, like the 13-year-old kids like us being like, "Oh my God, is that like Luke Wilson's brother?"
Oh yeah, I forgot that happened. Well, my conspiracy today.
Okay,
thank you.
I'm excited.
Also, thank you, Taylor. That was wonderful. Thank you for the insight.
Give me more.
For my conspiracy topic today, I'm covering birds aren't real.
Oh, I love this one. The pigeons.
Yes, you've heard of it.
Yes.
So say less because I'm going to go into it.
Okay.
All right. So to start, because I didn't know where to start. There's a lot here.
That's a lot. That's a big, hefty topic. Okay.
But I'm going to read you excerpts from the official Birds Aren't Real website.
Oh, I need to check out this website. Okay.
In 1947, the CIA was founded, its sole responsibility to watch and survey tens of thousands of Americans suspected of doing communist things. This orchestrated stalking epidemic went on for almost 5 years, and a few were found guilty of any real crimes. However, it became clear in the early 1950s that the threat of communism was only going to rise, and a broader system was needed to track any individual who was suspected of such activity. In 1953, Alan Dulles was made the first civilian director of the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, and made it his mission to ramp up the surveillance program, hiding cameras in thousands of locations and ordering his staff to plant them in areas that would be impossible to detect. Although, let's face it, in the 1950s, you could walk into a bank with a slingshot and steal thousands of dollars. Security was a big joke. This is still all from the website.
I was going to say valid point.
He knew that the possibilities of this camera program were endless, and on April 15th, 1956, met with President Dwight D. Eisenhower and proposed a plan that would put cameras in the sky. Dulles knew that the sky was the future for his surveillance program, as you could truly track someone with a moving camera, much easier than having to switch between cameras on the street corners and hidden in storm drains. One camera in the sky could do the work of hundreds on the ground. Eisenhower approved the initial idea and asked him to return when he had figured out how to make it possible. Dulles left the Oval Office and immediately flew to an undisclosed location, meeting with various members of his inner circle to discuss the plan in more intricate detail. It is believed that the initial plan for killing all of the birds and replacing them with flying cameras was thought up one weekend in May of 1956. Dulles and his team hated birds with a passion and were heard on many occasions calling them flying slugs and scum of the skies, as they would often poop on their cars in the parking lot of the CIA headquarters, and quite frankly, all over the DC metro area.
I'm not going to lie. I went to Whole Foods the other day and a bird shit on my car while I was in there, and I was pissed. I was like, dude. And I didn't even park near a tree. Like, sir. Have you ever, we'll get into it, girl. Have you ever, because that's literally a part of this conspiracy, so buckle in for that one. Wait, hold on. But like if they killed off all the birds because they don't like them shitting, they made them into cameras, they still have them pooping on everything? That's so rude.
The poop is a liquid detection.
I'm being tracked.
You're being tracked, girl.
Well, I wiped it off when I got home because that's how like ADD. Well, what is that? OCD? I'm definitely OCD.
Yeah. Well, you're also very cleanly, and it's probably good to clean up the bird poop. Yeah. So I hear that. So that's the end of the little excerpts. But basically, the movement claims that from 1969 to 2001, the U.S. government murdered 12 billion birds by poison dropped from airplanes and spread amongst the birds. Each bird was replaced by surveillance drones disguised as birds. These drone birds charge their batteries on power lines, track people through liquid tracking devices, Taylor, and is also the reason you have never seen a baby pigeon, only adult pigeons.
That's a valid point.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? I read that and I was like, have I ever seen a baby pigeon?
I've seen like other baby birds in our yard and stuff, but like I don't know if they're pigeons. I don't think they're pigeons. No, wait, no. They do lay eggs. They lay, okay, here's the thing about the pigeons. This is a whole nother real thing.
Okay.
But they like make the most lax nests. They'll put like one twig and lay an egg.
I know.
And they're like, good.
Well,
I think they're the laziest birds about it. Maybe it's because it's not a real egg and they're like, fuck it.
Well, it's actually because, I actually weirdly know a lot about pigeons pre this because it's very New York.
True.
And Pigeons. I once went into this whole rabbit hole about what makes an animal domesticated. I don't know.
Are they kind of domesticated? Okay, yeah.
They used to be. All pigeons became domesticated through breeding over time. Like, there's different levels, and I'll have to like refine this list and send it to you because it's fascinating. But as a species, pigeons are domesticated, and then we stopped using them. So then they got released back to the wild. But we're so used to being they don't have the same skills that they would have if they were wild. So that's why their nest building is so bad, is because through
they're like, you didn't teach me, you generations used to do this for me.
Exactly, through generations of breeding, it got bred out of them.
So my question is, when they were domesticated, we obviously saw their kids, right? Their babies. When did they turn into surveillance after that?
Well, this is from 1969 to 2001 that they killed.
So when were they domesticated? Do you know?
Oh, we're talking
way back?
Yeah, way back.
Okay. So it still tracks. This still can be.
This still can happen. That doesn't, because this doesn't mean birds has never existed. This means birds exist.
But
a lot of them got replaced.
Yeah. Okay. That would be a hard thing to do too, by the way. Poison the whole sky and just hope that the birds that
it's only the birds. I know.
Yeah.
Great questions, Taylor. So this whole theory actually started catching fire on the internet in 2017.
Yeah.
And the movement released a video from a whistleblower in 2019 of Eugene Price, an ex-CIA agent that confessed to destroying evidence of the CIA bird drone surveillance program. Now, I'm going to show you a clip from this.
Okay.
And then they moved me into domestic intelligence. And it's while I was there that, I saw some things that I really wish I hadn't seen.
Are you referring to bird drone surveillance?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us some more about that?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I'd been with the CIA for a few years. And then one morning, I got ordered to report to a military base. And I was briefed on something called Operation Water the Country. And when I got...
For those who don't know what that is, can you explain what that is?
Oh, sure. It's a code name we use for the process of removing all the living birds. They used poison gas dropped from airplanes.
Okay, you could stop it there. You get the gist from there.
Okay, but why does this feel like it feels like it's a skit? It feels like the guy interviewing just seems like he's a total doing this for Comedy Central or something. Or his YouTube channel.
Taylor.
Oh, it is. Okay, I'm on it.
You've come onto it because this is a hoax.
Okay, I thought so. It's this does not seem legit.
Well, so created by Peter McIndoe, who is the one interviewing the person from the CIA in 2017, after seeing an online conspiracy theories just going way too far, he wrote "Birds Aren't Real" on a poster and improvised a conspiracy theory as a spontaneous joke. A video of him discussing the movement went viral, and it spread like wildfire. He continued to be the face of the movement for years, never dropping the act and confusing many media outlets.
Oh my God.
Even when the media caught on, he would continue the bit. Once Adweek called it an apparent prank, he responded by saying it was a hit job to the movement.
Oh my God.
He didn't drop character on camera until a 2022 interview with 60 Minutes where he explained the reasoning behind the creation of the fake movement. Quote, "It's taking the concept of misinformation and almost building a little safe space to come together within it and laugh at it rather than be scared by it, and accept the lunacy of it all and be a bird truther for a moment in time when everything's so crazy." End quote.
A bird truther.
He even presented a TED Talk on the subject just last year. And I love this because even though it was absolutely made up and ridiculous, people still believed it, whether they were quick to join the movement and go as far as to pretend they knew about it before this was even a thing, or the news was quick to condemn it and blame the internet and Gen Z, calling them stupid for believing in it but not understanding the satire behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like an overall commentary about where we are in society. If we zoom out, it really says a lot about our humanity and where we judge things, no matter what side of a situation we are on. Even though I'm more skeptical, like, and we just kind of like a good story, I think in general for like our podcast, I'm more likely to like try and find like, you know, I think you and I both are like more likely to find like solutions or like explanations and be like, okay, like that's some dirt or whatever. But I think there's something with this story that like really showcases like the importance of like connecting with other people and like finding other people's humanity. And like, you don't know, you can't just write something off immediately, like in any capacity. Like it's such a good point of like, okay, maybe like look a smidge further into any of the things that get presented. And that's it. That's the story that I have today. That's my TED Talk, baby.
You know what's kind of weird is it kind of reminds me like, whoa, Trent just scared the fucking shit out of me. He just walked out the door and I was like, holy shit. Oof. But basically it reminds me of kind of, this is like a newer thing where people are thinking that the Mandela effect is actually government testing if we would catch on or not.
I also saw that. And I think like, that's the thing. Like I saw that and I was like, haha, that's so funny. And I was like, ooh, but like, I would never put that together. That kind of like, I don't think
it kind of tracks better than like, to me, that makes more sense than like a parallel universe.
Oh, same.
But if that's the truth, that's fucked up. But I don't know. That's the thing. Like, you can't take things that like you have to like do your own research and stuff. Like, as fun as it is to be like, oh yeah, it's like weird, but I guess we kind of do that on our podcast. Like we go out there and we spread shit. We're just like little gossipers.
I know. It definitely like, because I'll be very honest. I've heard birds aren't real, but did not know this story. Did not know it was fake.
This is the first time I've heard that it was fake. I did not. It was like the, have you seen this man?
Oh, 100%.
Like
I thought that was real.
I know. That's the thing. You see it once and then it dies and then you never follow up and you believe it's real.
Yeah. And you think it's like, there's a certain, and we've talked about this on the pod before, but it's like, what makes a good story stick into like the social zeitgeist? Like what makes it so popular that it becomes a thing, even if you don't fully know it for yourself? And I was like, okay, I want to do something like stupid for this episode. And then I started looking into birds aren't real. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know that this was a fake thing. I just assumed there was like kind of a very off the wall.
I've still been looking at pigeons a little bit weird, you know?
They're still tracing you in the parking lot.
But I was like, oh, maybe I am being tracked.
But I also think I kind of saw it in the news, like on the flip the coin a little bit. I saw it in the news being like, these people are stupid, Gen Z stupid for believing this, without like them actually even understanding like why. You kind of read the website and you're like, yeah, this is stupid. Like this is like,
it's like the living sky. Like you look into the website and you're like, ooh,
guys, but like what? Who's to say that that's not? I mean, I don't think the Living Sky website is satire, but I don't know. Like the birds are real. Also,
you don't?
Like you.
You think
I think someone genuinely believes that this Living Sky, I think the website you covered, they think it's real.
It is almost way too detailed.
It's a little too much. Whereas like, birds aren't real.
Yeah. Props to him though. Like badass.
I know.
Like the manipulation is insane.
And keeping up with the bit for so long on camera. Like even when he did his TED Talk, he like started the TED Talk like fully being
He's like, thing. You guys are a bunch of idiots.
And then midway through was like, okay, reintroducing myself. This is my story and this is what happened and how I became the face of a fake movement and how it got so much attention. You know, there's billboards and he was kind of like going around. But I just loved the larger idea of like, because you know, on the other side, it's like there were also people that were like, well, I always knew birds were fake, and I actually have been researching this for years. And he was like, he was creating this weird subculture of people that have claimed that they were in on it too. So like,
I bet those people fell so hard on that sword when they came out. They were probably like.
They probably
still hung on to it.
They're
probably, like once you're so far down the hole, You can't, it's almost like self-preservation to just be like, no, I still believe it.
100%. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, I didn't really go more into seeing if they still exist today, so I might have to do a follow-up because I would be curious, like, how many people, if it's still a movement of people that still, but it's just, like, such a fascinating, like, humans are, our brains and, like, what we cling on to and how things, it's just insane. Like, it is so, and, like, I think, you know, like this, like with this podcast, like you and I love talking about all this stuff, but like we're pretty quick to be like, well, I don't know, probably not.
Right.
But there is like this like fascination and like people that like genuinely want to believe certain things that like they cling on to it like it's Bible.
True.
No, you know.
Yeah. Well, the weird part is like when it turns out, because there's sometimes where it'll turn out to be true. And that
also true.
You know, like there's the other side of the coin where people get like so invested in it is true. And it's like, I told you. It's like, but that's the thing. How hard do you want to ride for these theories?
It's so true.
You got to decide, will you die on that hill or will you not?
It's so true. I think we get to kind of play in like a little bit of a safe zone of like.
It's just gossip.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a great point. Like you really just have to kind of like figure out and come to your own conclusions. But this is definitely one of those conspiracies that's like, like just if you are feeling one way or the other, like just a reminder to look a little bit further too.
Yeah. I mean, we're all not specialists in these areas that we're talking about.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like, and if you are, cool, like great. Like you probably should have more of an opinion. But like for me, when I'm talking about conspiracy theories, like it's just fun to talk about. Do I truly believe some of it?
No.
Is there little lines of truth? Probably in some of them.
Some places for sure. Well, I think that's what makes it like, I don't know. That's why I love you and I chatting about it because it can just be light and whatever. Like we are never to say that we are masters of anything of this. But I don't know. Maybe we can get our masters in ancient alien theorists or whatever.
Yeah. Taylor and Catherine suggest.
I wish. I fucking wish. But anyway, that is my story for the day. Birds aren't real.
Birds are very much real, and so are bunkers. And let's find out what's going to happen in the next coming years. And I guess we'll see what happens.
For sure.
Are they true?
Taylor, have you learned anything today? Anything you can,
yeah, I can stop staring at pigeons now and just be okay with the fact that it's really a pigeon. You know what I mean?
Yes. There's not that little bit of doubt now in your head.
No, they're not charging on the electrical lines. So I think we're good.
On the electrical lines. And also, if you got the money, build a bunker.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Why not?
Why not? Well, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.